The puppy by the window. Soft evening light slid through the shelter window and warmed the concrete floor of kennel number 7. A small golden puppy lay there with his nose pressed against the metal bars, watching the doorway like it was the only thing in the world that mattered. Every time footsteps echoed down the hall, his ears lifted. His tail started to thump, slow at first, then faster, hopeful. People would stop in front of his kennel, lean down, and smile. The puppy, whose name on the little card read Buddy, tried his very best tricks. He sat up straight. He tilted his head. He licked the air as if he could already taste their hands. Sometimes they laughed softly. Sometimes they said, "Oh, he's cute," or "maybe next time." Then they moved on. When the footsteps faded, Buddy's tail slowed. He sank back onto the floor, chin between his paws. He wasn't a bad puppy. He didn't know why no one picked him. He just knew that every cage around him had been empty at least once, but his had never opened for good. Across the room, an older dog snored. Birds chattered in a covered cage by the office door. Somewhere in the building, a radio played a quiet song. The shelter wasn't a cruel place, but it felt big and echoing when you were the only one waiting. As the sun dipped lower, the hallway light flicked on with a soft hum. The front door creaked. Buddy's ears shot up again. He heard rain outside, then hurried voices. 2 shelter workers came in, carrying a small cardboard box. It was dark and a little soggy at the bottom. The box shook with tiny, frightened movements. Buddy stood up so quickly his paws slipped. He pressed against the bars, nose twitching. A sharp, unfamiliar smell reached him. Damp fur, fear, and something else, something small and fragile. The workers set the box on a table near Buddy's kennel. One of them gently folded back the flaps. Inside, curled in the corner, was a kitten. Its fur clung together in wet clumps, and its blue eyes were too wide, shining in the light. The kitten's tiny sides rose and fell fast, like it couldn't quite catch its breath. "Poor little thing," one worker murmured, "left in the alley behind the store." The kitten tried to make itself even smaller, but when it noticed Buddy staring, it froze. They looked at each other, nose to nose, only a stretch of air and cardboard between them. Buddy's tail gave one careful wag, then another. He let out a soft whine, not loud, just enough to say, "Hey, I see you." The kitten's ears flicked at the sound. Instead of shrinking away, it slowly lifted its head. For a heartbeat, its fear seemed to pause. Its whiskers trembled. Buddy dropped onto his front paws, pressing his chest against the bars so he could get closer. He licked the air again, as if trying to reach the kitten with the only comfort he knew. The workers shared a look. "She's so small," one said quietly. "Kittens like this are hard to place. People always choose the big, playful ones." Buddy didn't understand the words, but he heard the sigh in them. He watched as gentle hands lifted the kitten out of the box and wrapped her in a towel. She let out a tiny, startled meow, then another, a little weaker. The sound made something tighten in Buddy's chest. He paced the length of his kennel, turned and paced back, eyes never leaving the kitten. "We'll put her in the spare room for now," the other worker said. "See how she does." Buddy's heart kicked. Spare room. That meant far from him, past the office door he never got to go through. He pressed closer to the bars and gave a quick, almost desperate bark. The worker paused and glanced back at him. For a second, the kitten dangled between them, wrapped like a tiny bundle of shadows and stripes. Buddy's gaze met hers one more time. Her little paw twitched free of the towel, stretching toward him, then slipped back out of sight as they turned away. The office door opened with a squeak. The kitten's soft mewling faded down the hall. Buddy stood there, ears high, heart racing, as the door swung slowly shut. He had never felt less alone and more alone at the same time, and he had no idea that this scared, unwanted kitten was about to change everything.